DBS Bank is creating a metaverse virtual world that will allow users to experience building a better, more sustainable world. Introducing the Great Singapore Run, a round island run which spans some 107 kilometers from Jurong Lake Gardens to Mount Faber. Prince Charles has become King of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms, ending a wait of more than 70 years, the longest by an heir in British history. It's Friday, September 9th. You're watching The Big Story with me, Haryanto Diman. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss an episode. The metaverse has been hailed the future of the internet. Now you can say do your shopping or go exploring in virtual worlds as an avatar. Even Singapore's largest bank, DBS, is jumping on the bandwagon, creating a virtual world called DBS BetterWorld in the metaverse. According to DBS, it will allow users to experience building a better, more sustainable world. BetterWorld will be accessible to members of the public, including non-DBS customers, for free. It's a venture between DBS and the Sandbox, an Ethereum-based decentralized virtual gaming world. DBS will acquire a unit of virtual real estate in the Sandbox metaverse, which will be developed with immersive elements like buildings, plants, and animals. The Straits Times understands that BetterWorld will be available when the Sandbox fully launches its metaverse, likely next year. SHOPEE will be shutting down local operations in Chile, Colombia and Mexico and leave Argentina entirely. The Singapore-based company sees e-commerce arm told employees this on Thursday, said sources in news reports. The company will maintain cross-border operations in the first 3 markets, but will cut the majority of its teams in the countries, affecting dozens of employees. Latin America is its most important region after Southeast Asia, accounting for almost 19% of its revenue in 2021. Looking for something fun to do this weekend, or perhaps ways to stay fit while exploring Singapore? Well, we might have just the thing for you. Introducing the Great Singapore Run, a round island run which spans some 107 kilometers from Jurong Lake Gardens to Mount Faber. Well, whether you are an adrenaline junkie looking to complete the run in one go or someone trying to conquer your first 5 km, there's something for everyone.
It's a beautiful morning and I'm about to get started on the Great Singapore Run. Spanning some 107 kilometers, the run starts right here at Jurong Lake Gardens. Before we begin, I want to find out a little bit more about the adventure we're about to go on. My colleagues Kim and Laura designed the route, so maybe they can tell us a little bit more. I'm a little bit nervous. 107 kilometers sounds very long.
Don't worry, we designed the run such that you can complete it bit by bit. We have the nature trail run that brings you through Dairy Farm Nature Park. We have a coastal run at Punggol. We also have a beachside run that starts at the Pasir Ris Park area and brings you to Changi. And finally, we have a city run that starts at the Marina Bay area, goes through Clarke Quay and ends on the top of Mount Faber.
Oh wow, sounds like a lot of different terrains. Any words of wisdom before we get started?
Listen to your body and know your limits, and just enjoy the sights along the way.
I sure will. Shall we get started then?
Joining us now are sports reporter Kimberly Quek and my co-presenter Chow Suen. Kim designed the run and Suen ran it, so let's find out more about their experience. Kim, why did ST embark on this Great Singapore Run? What's the objective of this project?
Yep, so some of our other ST colleagues did a Great Singapore Cycle and Great Singapore Drive. So what we wanted to do was try and bring people around Singapore on foot. And Singapore actually has a lot of different nature spots and nice places to explore. So that's why we came up with the Great Singapore Run. But with this, we also wanted to make sure that there was something for everyone. So we came up with 4 main routes. One that takes you by the beach, the coast area, one that is a nature trail, and one that brings you through the city.
So Kim, I definitely agree. There really is something for everyone. For me personally, I'm definitely not an experienced runner. I run mostly to keep fit. So for me, I definitely made it a point to break that 107 kilometers down across 4 days and did it slowly. But of course, if you're a more experienced runner or if you're an adrenaline junkie, you can definitely try to do more than one route a day, perhaps. And I really think that it really gives the opportunity for you to explore Singapore and get to see some of the things that perhaps you would not otherwise really explore, right? Some parts of Singapore that you might never visit if not for this route. So I think it was definitely something that is very interesting and that I really enjoyed.
I think Suen, I will take up what you did to break it down. Now, Kim, you are the brains behind this project. What are some of the considerations while planning the routes, particularly for the more challenging ones like the nature trail?
So when my colleague Laura and I were planning the routes, we wanted to make sure that, people got to see a different side of Singapore. People get to go through the different parks and explore the different areas. But on top of that, I think safety was a very key consideration for us as well. We wanted to make sure that these routes were also ones that, people have done before, and that was something that we made sure to factor in when we were coming up with the routes.
And both of you have attempted the routes. Any tips for those planning to take part in this Great Singapore Run? Let's start with you, Suen.
I would say, for starters, wear sunblock. Lots and lots of sunblock. I don't think I've ever been as sunburnt as I have during the time when I was doing this run. Other than that, I think it's very important to have a good pair of shoes that you know you can trust, just because some of the terrain is perhaps more unfamiliar, especially the nature trail. So for me, those were things that were definitely very helpful. And I think we also have quite a lot of other tips in the video and the interactive graphic that we made. So, you can also check those out. But I would say definitely making sure that you are comfortable and well prepared for being in the elements was what was key for me.
What about you, Kim? Tips for our aspiring runners?
I think it's really important to know your limits. Don't push yourself too much. Even if it takes you a bit longer to complete a route, just take the time to enjoy the sights around you and enjoy the run. Remember to hydrate, of course, and just enjoy yourself.
Kim, Suen, thank you so much for the sharing. Sports reporter Kimberly Quek and multimedia correspondent Chow Suen. For more details on the routes and some tips and tricks on maximizing your experience, check out the interactive graphic on straitstimes.com and the video on our YouTube channel. You can also download the route on Strava or look it up on Google Maps. Well, happy running! Transport operator SMRT today signed a memorandum of understanding with the 5 polytechnics here to build a stronger pipeline of talent for the company and the wider rail industry. Now, this comes amid an ongoing search for new workers as the MRT network is expected to grow to 360 kilometers by the early 2030s. Education Minister Chan Chun Sing says such collaboration between industry and academia is important in ensuring growth.
I hope today's example by SMRT with the Polytechnic will be a testimony of how our leading corporations in Singapore can provide the example where you combine corporate growth with workers' growth. And to combine corporate growth with the workers' growth, it must come from training and deep skilling. And that is why it's so important for us to work with the major corporations like SMRT and others to join hands so that we do not see corporate growth and workers' growth as being two separate and distinct functions. But instead, they are one and the same. They are two sides of the same coin.
In Britain, tears, flowers and song as the nation mourns the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Thousands gathered outside Buckingham Palace, leaving flowers and memorials in honour of the world's longest reigning monarch. The Queen died on Thursday at the age of 96 at her home Balmoral Castle in Scotland. She has served for 7 decades. Tributes from world leaders have been pouring in, including Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, who said in his Facebook post that he is deeply saddened by the Queen's death, adding that she left a significant mark on Singapore's history and its long-standing close relations with the United Kingdom. State flags at all government buildings in Singapore will be flown at half-mast on the day of her funeral. Parliament will also observe a minute of silence on September 12th. In a letter to King Charles III, President Halimah Yacob said that the Queen's passing is an enormous loss and that it will be felt by all in the Commonwealth. As Britain flies its flags at half-mast, Britons have gathered at landmarks to remember their Queen, the only monarch most of them have ever known.
I don't really know what's going through. You know, it's just a sad day for us all today. We've all known just one Queen. She's the person we've always looked up to. Somehow, it's just a sad day. Just a very, very sad day.
She's just a wonderful person. My parents had tremendous respect for her, and she pledged her life to this country, and she led this country with great reverence and duty and respect and honor, and I just don't know if there would be another like her. And
it's going to be weird because it's just with,
you know, us being in our early 20s as well, you know, this is all that we've come to know, and so it's this ending of this decade, ending of all that we've known, and coming into this new.
It's a new era for us. Yeah. Like, we've only ever known the one Queen, and now we're going to be moving into a new monarch.
With the death of his mother, King Charles III automatically becomes head of state, making him the oldest monarch at 73 years old to take the throne in a lineage that dates back 1,000 years. His coronation ceremony will take place at a later time. Meanwhile, details of the Queen's funeral have not been confirmed. On to COVID-19 updates. Mask mandates around the world continue to ease. The Philippines has approved a recommendation to end the mandatory wearing of face masks outdoors. After more than 2 years, the rule was imposed. Along with Myanmar, the Philippines is one of the only 2 countries in Southeast Asia yet to ease the compulsory wearing of masks outdoors. From today, travellers heading to Australia will no longer be required to wear masks on their flight. The decision follows the removal of mask mandates for domestic flights last week. Those are our top stories today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by clicking the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Have a good weekend and we'll see you next week.